Hello, baristas!
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Alexis.
Welcome to Board Game Latte.
Grab your coffee and your cups, because today we're going to be talking about Coffee Rush by Korea Board Games. So the objective of this game is to complete orders and get ratings or victory points. And the game ends if there are no more order cards to be fulfilled or if a player gets 5 penalty cards. And the player who has the most victory points at the end of the game wins.
So the majority of the game is going to be played on this 4x4 grid that has different pictures in each space of a different ingredient. The ingredients in the game are coffee beans, steam, chocolate, tea leaves, caramel, water, ice, and milk. Half of those, I forget which ones, are like specialty ingredients, which are on a lot of the specialty order cards, which you get a bonus for completing or fulfilling. On that 4x4 grid is where you'll have your meeple, or in a 2-player game, you'll have 2 meeples. So there will always be either 3 or 4 meeples on the board depending on your player count. Also, with your player board, you're going to have these 4 spaces for upgrade tiles. The 4 different upgrade tiles allow you to, 1, move diagonally, because without it you can only move orthogonally. Another tile gives you double ingredients for the ingredients in the corners of the board. Another tile gives you double ingredients for all specialty ingredients. And the 4th upgrade tile gives you double ingredients for landing on a space with another meeple.
Yeah, and then with the 2-player game, that can also include your other meeple. And then there's also these things called rush tokens, which basically with those rush tokens you either get by completing a specialty order, or also you get it by failing an order after it goes through the 4 on the right side of your player board, which is known as your workstation.
And then, sort of mentioned it before, but there are 2 types of order cards, just the regular ones and then the specialty ones. And the only difference between the 2, they give the same amount of victory points, but one gives you a rush token for completing.
Yeah, so what that rush token is used for is that 4x4 grid where you move your meeples. It gives you an additional movement because you're only allowed to move up to 3 times on that player board. Mm-hmm. And one thing you cannot do is you cannot end your movements on another meeple that's there, so either your opponents or yourself. So it has to be just you.
The component that everybody loves is the cup.
They're
because
so cute.
That's where you put all your ingredients. It's like you're actually making these orders, and that makes the game really fun. So you're going to be filling up your little cups with these little plastic tea leaves or little plastic water droplets or milk or steam, and it looks really cool once you have it all together.
Yeah, they're really cute. They're like this big and they're clear, and each player gets 3 of them.
Yes.
The very first thing you're able to do on your turn is if you have 3 fulfilled orders, you can exchange that over for a upgrade tile. With the upgrade tiles, you do get 2 victory points versus, having 3 completed orders would technically be 3 points. Mm-hmm. And with those upgrade tiles, they are activated immediately, so you don't have to wait until your next turn to go ahead and play them.
And they last for the remainder of the game, and they also stack. So if you have all 4 and you manage to land in a corner that already has another meeple and is a specialty tile or something, you would get times 6 of that ingredient you just landed on. Because every time you move, you're going to pick up the ingredient that you move to.
Yeah.
In the space that you move to.
But yeah, so every time you would go ahead and move, so you can move up to 3 times, you would grab that ingredient while you move. And then after you go ahead and grab your ingredients, during any time you're also able to pour those ingredients. So what that means is if you already have like an ingredient, say, in your cup that you don't need for an upcoming order, you can go ahead and pour it. And what pouring it means is you would go ahead and just put it back into the ingredient tray that's in the center of the table. And then once you go ahead and have all of your ingredients, you're able to go ahead and pour those ingredients into those 3 coffee cups to go ahead and try to complete orders. So an order is fulfilled once it has all the ingredients that are listed on the right side. An order cannot be fulfilled if it is missing ingredients or if it has additional ingredients in it. After you complete your orders, you would go ahead and check to see how many orders that you have completed. The 2 players to the left of the current player will then take the amount of order cards that were completed
from the order card deck. So essentially they're adding to their tab of orders that they have to fulfill for the game.
Yeah, so it would be moved to the tab 1, and then the person who completed their order would then shift any other orders down, and then they would put 1 new order in their tab 1.
Yeah, so if you're really good in completing 3 orders every time on your turn, you're adding 3 order cards to other players. So not only are you getting those 3 victory points, but you're making their life a lot harder.
Yeah. And then the turn will end, and then it'll go ahead and be the next person's turn. For whatever reason, if there are no more order cards to be taken, then that open sign will be then turned to close, so it would be the player token, and then they would go ahead and just still continue to complete until it's the end of the round.
And then that's where you would score the your ratings to see how many victory points you got and who won the game. Who's the best barista? So we played with just the 2 of us, a 2-player game, and it was interesting because you got to control 2 separate meeples, but you only get to move 1 of them on your turn. And that's regardless of if you're using a rush token to move additional spaces. You can only move the same meeple that you moved previously. But on your next turn, if you want to move another meeple, then you can by all means do so.
Yeah, I feel like this game, it's a lot of kind of like, not too critical thinking, but kind of like thinking like, okay, I could maybe save this 1 ice cube that I have left over in my cup just in case, like, you know, I get something like a tea or something that pops up next. Because I do like that you're able to just pour those ingredients out anytime during your turn. And I really do enjoy kind of just gathering the resources. And I like the feeling of it. I mean, they're really cute. I really like the artwork and stuff that goes into this game. And I do like how you're able to upgrade. I know when we played, I did have quite a few times where I ended up getting all of the upgrades, and I was able to get sometimes 4 instead of 2, because it was like I got double for corners, and there just happened to be a meeple in the corner when I went over there, so I ended up getting 4 of those ingredients.
And the great thing that this game, I think, does really well is it is a rush game, and you know, for a lot of the rush games, you feel the pressure and tension of having to get stuff done, and you can't really do so. I think this game does that really well. But in that short amount of time and that rush, right, if you will, Alexis said that you do get a bunch of upgrades. So you do feel like you get a lot stronger. Even though it's a short game, you feel like you're getting a lot stronger over the course of the game. And I think that adds a great aspect to the game.
Yeah, one thing I liked that we did was when there was an order up, we just kind of made up like a customer name. I just thought it was fun, and just kind of like, oh, order up, like, you know, macchiato for solar or whatever it is. Yeah. But it's a fun game. We haven't played it yet for like 3 or 4 players, only just the 2 of us. So I am curious to see how crazy it can be with more people, because I've heard like so many people ended up getting like 3 or 4, like it was a close game. With us, I mean, it was a close game too. And It's a lot of fun. It is very chaotic. At first, it's kind of like the calm before the storm.
Right.
But I love it.
Yeah. Once people start getting those upgrades, they're getting maybe like she said, like 8 ingredients per turn, which means a lot more orders are being fulfilled. Which means if you're to the left of the active player, you're getting a lot more cards, and that's where the rush really comes in. I think if they didn't add that aspect of, I think it's called the too many orders step, is where you have to take cards based on the active player fulfilling orders.
Yeah.
The game wouldn't be so much of a rush.
Yeah, it would kind of just be like, all right, I got one. Oh, you got one. Okay. But no, I do like that aspect because it kind of keeps you on your toes. I mean, at most, you're able to complete 3 orders because you only have 3 cups. But, I mean, that can add on really quickly. If you did 3 every order, then it's just like, oh, there's 4 in this row because you need to get one when you complete one. And you only have 4 chances to pretty much get it before it becomes a penalty.
And then if you think about it, for the 4-player game, it's the 2 players to the left. So if the 2 players ahead of you complete 3 each, that's 8 orders you had no chance of stopping.
Yeah. Which that can be tough. I'm really excited to try to play this with, more people as well. But I like the rush tokens too that they do have. I like how even though it's a penalty, it's kind of like, here, you get an extra ingredient because you get to move one more time. I mean, sometimes I just kind of collected them, like I kind of hoarded them a little bit because I like to complete the specialty order. So then it's like, oh, I can move 5 times instead of 3. And it's like, oh, I was able to complete 2 orders with this because that specialty order needed 4 ingredients. And it's very strategic thinking when it comes to meeple movement. Yeah.
At first, the specialty orders might not be worth it because you're just getting maybe 1 ingredient per extra move from the rush token. But once you get later into the game, that 1 extra move could get you 4 ingredients or more, which could be another, like, fulfill like 3 orders. Say you're missing like coffee for 3 different orders, then you would have that coffee in a single move.
Yeah. And then for me, I don't know, for some reason I just ended up getting mostly specialty orders.
Yeah, all luck.
Yeah. I mean, I ended up getting mostly specialty orders when we were playing, and I mean, I was able to move more, but it's just like at what cost because I had to keep getting more ingredients. But it's very like quick ending, I would say.
Yeah. Highly recommend it. I haven't heard it much, but we saw the components, saw pictures of the cups of ingredients, and thought we had to get it.
Yeah, I mean,
give it a shot too.
It's on brand. But I really do. I love the components in here. I really do like how it's like little, and it's not like there's no actual like cardboard cutouts, I guess, other than like the rush tokens. Right. And then obviously like your actual workstation and stuff like that. But it's mostly just like the little small plastic components, which I feel like kind of adds like that special touch to the game. And then like same thing with the cups, because I mean, if you really wanted to, you could probably put like a little tea or something in them. I mean, they're like really small, but it's really fun. I feel like it really does add that extra step that sometimes I really don't see in games that I appreciate.
So definitely check this game out. It's pretty fun and easy to learn, and I think it would be a hit for your medium light gamers.
Yeah, definitely good for those people you're trying to introduce into playing board games. I would say for sure. Because it is really simple to learn. There's not that many steps.
Thanks for watching.
Let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on Coffee Rush.
And let us know what your favorite Rush game is, because we want to try that next.
Oh yeah. See you in the next one.